is actually a statement. You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand what the legal definition of a statement is, in that when you are an investor and you have book entry securities, your book entry securities are evidenced by a statement. You see? They will tell you that in the finance world, that a statement is evidence of your book entry securities. It's your statement sheet, right? So you have that. And that's what they send to you every month, that you're misconstruing as a bill when it says statement.
It says statement enclosed. It never says a bill is enclosed.
It says statement enclosed, and it has a coupon. What is a coupon? Well, a coupon is attached to a bond, and whoever is holding the coupon is entitled to receive the payment from the bond. So do you really have a bill, or do you have a bond with the coupon? That is a statement evidencing your book entry security. So that's where you read.
Negotiability does not mean you're negotiating the price of the bond. It just means you can transfer it to somebody else. That's what negotiability means. And it's an order to pay a fixed amount of money with or without interest, right? It has a drawer and a drawee on it. Like, it meets all, and it doesn't contain the conspicuous statement that it's not
a negotiable instrument.
Yeah, it's all those codes work. So, like if you're looking at it as a bill, right? Because you've been told that it's a bill.
But again, look at your state's definition of negotiable instrument. Your state has its own negotiable instrument act that you can review, and you can see what it's saying. Yeah, BMW prospectus says a lot of stuff about book entries, because that's what they do. It's book entry securities. That's what we're dealing with. Which is why you could use that book entry stamp if you wanted the conversion to happen faster.
There's only two kinds of registration of securities: CBES, Commercial Book Entry System, or a physical certificate.
Yep.
That's it. So, you know, you get the physical one if you want to exchange it, or if you want to do something with it. 31 CFR. That's the only time you need to be using a CFR for this.
See, okay, this live, we didn't say anything about how to be approved, but you have to have a certain understanding that they can't deny you. And then when you understand that they can't deny you, and they understand why they can't deny you, then you'll do it. You see, and but the thing is, you have to understand first, because if you don't know why they can't deny you, then you're not going to be able to get that overturned. The difference between you and Ane here is that he knows that he can't be denied. He articulated that in a letter and sent it to them.
Caleb, did I ask you for a letter?
No, he didn't. He said, I got a letter that I sent, and I read it, and I almost cried.
Yep.
And I'm like,
I still remember that. That was the first time I spoke to you, actually, was when I sent that. It was actually kind of funny. Back in November.
Mm-hmm. And I was so proud. Like, I was so proud, and I was happy. And I'm telling you, when I see stuff like that, it makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time. Because when people ask me, or when I hear the question, do I put a medallion on the 1099?
Oh, yeah.
That makes me feel like I'm wasting my time. It really does. It makes me feel like, where did I go wrong?
But that
I don't know that somebody is construing that they need to put a medallion on the 1099. Like,
they're listening to 5 different people, and then they think using fancy words is going to get an answer.
Yes. So y'all say something hoping that it means something. You just put a bunch of words together. You'll be like, do I medallion stamp my 1099 to send to the indenture trustee so that I can get a purchase order to send to the transfer agent? It's like, what?
And people, you can tell, right? Because when people ask you a question, like the ones I get, because I still get them, they're super vague, right? There's like, I need help reading a prospectus. What does that even mean? I need help reading a prospectus. What do you want from me? I'm like, tell me what you want. Okay, at least tell me what you want. Like, don't be playing with me. Like, I know you want something from me. Just ask for it. You think I'm just gonna figure it out myself and then give it to you?
That's hilarious. But no, I completely understand that. I need help reading a prospectus. He said, tell me what you want, at
What
least.
do you want, really? Do you
Like,
really
what
need
do you
help
really
reading?
want?
Like, what, you want me to A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Like, it's
And
crazy.
that's the thing, is that we'll go over the prospectus and we'll pull things out, boom, 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 and then people will be like, "Oh, I still need help. I don't understand." And I'm like, what don't you understand? Or I'll be like, "Oh yeah, it says this in the prospectus," and they'll be like, "Well, where does it say that?" Right under the section that I showed you in the live, but you must not have read down below it. Like, you got
It's
to read
English,
and comprehend.
ain't it?
It's English.
It's English. Like, we're actually kind of lucky that you have the internet and you can just pull it up in 5 seconds. Like, imagine you didn't have that. Like, it would be like, no, it would be hard as hell to do anything.
Yeah. Before the internet, man, y'all would have never found this information.
That's how they got us, because information is power. So,
And the thing
that's just
is, it's all online. But what they did was they put a bunch of distractions everywhere to keep you from doing everything but reading. And then what they do is they put a stigma on it of like, oh well, it's just a legal contract. You wouldn't understand it. Just sign it. It's all standard
you're a
stuff
sovereign
here.
citizen.
Yeah.
You're a sovereign citizen. Like, you have to stop. Like, I had to, it's like crazy. They don't even know what that means.
No, but they just know that the government say sovereign citizens are bad. So if I think you're a sovereign citizen, I think you're bad.
Yep.
Like, no ability to think for themselves, no ability to discern information. Like, how long it take you to find that term on Google? 2 minutes? Because you were trying to find out how to screw yourself, and they hit you with all this propaganda about sovereign citizens. Oh, sovereign citizen extremists. They're paper terrorists and sovereign citizens. Like, come on. Seem like they having a seizure over there. Like, they just, it's like they hear sovereign citizen and they're like, my brain is shutting off. Like, they start having a seizure. They're like, like, I don't know.
That's it. There's no sovereign. It's U.S. national. That's it. That's non-citizen national at that. That's the actual word.
Straight smear campaign. Because if they can associate your name with the smell of shit long enough, then when people hear your name, they're going to start to smell shit. And they're going to be like, that's nasty. That's what they do.
State national. Someone said state national. But no, that's not. No. You're a U.S. non-citizen national. Read the passport, right? They issue it to citizens and non-citizen nationals. That's it.
Sovereign citizen equals peasant equals king peasant. That's funny. Sovereign equals king, citizen equals peasant. So if you're a sovereign citizen, you a king peasant. That's funny. You a king servant. You a king subject. That's crazy. But that's how they look at you. That's how they look at you. Y'all are my subjects. You want to be sovereign? Okay, but you're going to be a sovereign subject to me. Like, no. They try to make it clear that they own you. That's all that is. When you see sovereign citizen, they just letting you know we own you. And we don't like you trying to not have us own you. It's really that simple. If you want to be owned, if you want to be owned and leaned and under a $14.3 trillion agricultural lien as a migrant farmer, worker, employee for your state, you can do that. But I'm not a migrant farmer employee, and if they want to keep me as such, they're going to have to pay me some money. And it ain't going to be light. It ain't going to be light.
How many of y'all went to the Maryland UCC and actually pulled up that Federal Reserve lien? It's public.
Yeah, but anybody who says sovereign citizen, it lets you know what their understanding is, which is nothing.
Like, a lady asked me, how did I get into university if I was sovereign? I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, people are wild.
I was doing my trust documents, and she saw it, and she started asking me questions. And I'd answer them, and then she'd ask me the questions. But yeah, she asked me, if you're sovereign, how can you be in university?
Like has anything to do with
Like,
anything.
and
People
I
just
told
don't
her,
even
like,
know what
that
it
doesn't
is.
even make sense. Like, what do you mean? Like, I can go to school. Like, and she's like, oh, yeah, but, you know, you're sovereign. I wasn't a sovereign when I went to school anyway, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, people just be chatting.
I just learned this shit like 8 months ago. Junior year of college. So, I don't know. Delaware
Anybody can
lien
go
is
to
between
school.
the issuer and the depositor. You need to figure that out. And you need an agent to get you the UCC lien if you're trying to find a lien in Delaware.
Yeah, I know. People are funny. They want to live in a free country, but then they don't like the implications that go along with freedom. Because freedom means that any person is free to do what they want outside of harming and stealing from others.
3 rules in
People don't
common
like
law.
that. Because when the government start coming down with mandates and such, and you a sovereign, and you say, nah, that don't apply to me, you can suck it, then everybody else who is not as free as you is upset because you're walking around with more freedom than they are.
It's
And they
crabs in a
feel like
bucket.
if their freedom is suppressed, so should yours too.
Yep.
Because if I'm getting oppressed, then so are you. And if you're not getting oppressed, I'm going to complain that you're not getting oppressed. And I'm going to try to make it so you can't do nothing. What's going to happen is you're going to be in the store, you ain't going to have on a mask, and they're going to call the cops, and you're going to give them your passport card, and they're going to say, you have a good day, sir, and everybody going to be mad. Like, what? He didn't get
They're mad that you
arrested?
don't pay
He didn't
taxes.
get
Oh, you're not paying
trespassed?
your fair share of taxes. Like, they don't even know what it's tax class 5. They're upset that they have to pay 40% of what they make. And you don't.
Voluntarily. Y'all want to
Yeah,
give away
voluntarily.
40% of your
It's an
salary?
estate
You
and a
do it,
gift
but
tax.
I'm not doing it.
And then you pulling up, running up credit, and you ain't paying nothing. Like, yeah, I can see why somebody who doesn't know how it works would be upset. Like, I can empathize a bit. Because it's like you got the cheat codes, kind of, and you're playing a different game.
Exactly. You playing GTA with the cheats on,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
playing it regularly. That's what's going on.
That's true.
They playing GTA. They stopping at the red lights. You know, they doing all that stuff. Now you like, I'm going around. I'm doing me, and they mad about it. Infinite money cheat code.
I'm gonna get a Hellcat, put a black plate on it. I'm gonna be the only person with a Hellcat in Atlanta, flying past GSP.
R1, R1 circle, R2 left, right, plus 250,000, bro. Come on. I know the cheats, and y'all mad about it.
And he's giving it to you. He gave it to you. Auntie gave it to you. That's like, if they didn't give it, how could I have learned it? Because I didn't know any of the stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. Just like how Auntie said when I came along, y'all got no excuse. What I am to Auntie, Ane is to me. Y'all got no
spawned
excuse.
out here, like, out of nowhere. Like, I didn't know
He popped up, and in less time than everybody got several open-ended cards, fully corrected the status, and out here killing it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I'm more impressed by him than I've been by anybody else. Besides
I'm gonna send that receipt as well.
old girl with the brokerage account. Old girl with the brokerage account, I seen you in here. You know who I'm talking about. I'm just as proud of you. Just as proud of you.
I spoke. She's very, like, she knows a lot. She knows a lot.
He did just spawn. He spawned out of nowhere. I'm out here. I just got a DM from Ane, and I'm like, what is this? He's like, I got a receipt. And I'm
I
like,
just dropped down. I was like,
click
damn.
on it. And it was a whole other type of receipt. It was a whole other type of receipt. And even just chatting with him for the few minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, he a step above. He a cut above.
Yeah. I dropped that 300K receipt, and you, Jesus Christ, I was laughing my ass off.
Martinez, the answer is yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You surely can use that instead of that. You know what I'm talking about. And for anybody else who has that question, the answer is yes.
That applies to my parents, by the way.
The answer is yes. Look at that pinned comment because I know a lot of y'all are naturalized, and I know a lot of y'all have that same question. It's the same thing. And I actually think I might go update the ebook to specify that because it doesn't, but it is the same process. And so if that's not clear enough for people, I'm going to go and drop the 4th edition of Recording National Status now.
How do you think I did my dad and mom? That applies to them, and they got the right stuff. So there you go.
Just like that. So yes, I know that's a major question, so I did want to answer that because I know that's something that plagues somebody. All right, y'all. Questions. Go ahead. Fire them off. Start firing. Start firing your questions. If I like it, I'm going to answer it. If it's ridiculous, I'm calling you out just to make a point, and then I will answer the question. But if it's ridiculous, how long does it take to do the national status? It's really up to you. The longest part of that process is going to be getting your passport. So,
and getting the FOIA.
And well, yeah, the FOIA, if you do it right, it should come back in like a week.
Yeah.
So the passport,
right. Yeah,
but those things are going to be that. If you got to end up doing the FOIA 8 times, it might be that way. But also, yeah. So really just as long as it takes to get that done. It doesn't take too long. Couple months at most. It's really about how fast you get to moving on it, if that makes sense.
You can do the passport the same day. That's what I did.
Oh yeah, you can do it same day.
There's
You
a way
can
to do
expedite
it.
it. That's what I ended up doing because I'm like, I don't want to. I can't sit here for months waiting on that. I just did it. I got to expedite it. For, like, oh, I'm going on a trip. Blah blah. Jump that quick.
I got in like 5 hours. Went in the morning, came back in the afternoon. Boom, and the card I got a week later.
Meaning of the black plate. The black plate is your dot exempt plate. You get that once you've deregistered your car and everything like that. It's your own private tag. The DMV is supposed to give you a private tag if you request it, but we know these people and their ignorance. Get your dot number. Dot has regulations for how you can identify yourself. Really, it's not even so much about the black plate as it is about that sticker that's supposed to go off the car. You need the number. You need the number.
They're going to run it, right?
Yes. If you get the number and you just throw the sticker on there, it's similar, but the black plate is just to have a plate there, really. But the dot number is what's important because that's what they run when they see that plate.
People see that it's private property and it's private passenger for non-commercial use. You need both. That's what tells them that, you're moving different. Because they can pull it
private,
up.
non-commercial.
Like you can search up my dot on the internet. It's all public. It'll tell you exactly what it says.
It's not better to do it online. It can be. Well, you would have to mail it in. You're not going to be able to wire it to them.
For somebody asking about the passport.
How can you get your credit card utilization to 0? Go cite the law that says that they can't report transaction history under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They're not allowed to report transaction history. So that's how you get your utilization to 0.
And the DS-11, by the way, for the passport, there's 3 conditions that you need. You have to make sure that you meet one of those conditions in order to execute that form. So, yeah, for somebody asked that, just read it. It'll tell you.
Even if they don't have an investor page, I'm sure they have SEC filings.
Edgar.
What do you mean Goldman Sachs keeps denying your securities? That's a very broad statement that could mean a lot of things. I had a home birth, so my kids don't have SSN. Being so they don't have SSN, they're not eligible for the EBT stamp benefits. They use 7 CFR.
you're sending in a
I'm not
coupon,
sure about that.
what I do also is I include the reinvestment / redemption form. You can fill that out and put that in your packet as well. But
Oh, you said you talk about that one form?
yeah, Auntie dropped it, and that's what I started using that when I did my other cards. I actually, it'll tell you, right? It'll ask you for the information. You can just print it out and then just throw it in the packet, so they know. It's I forget the OMB number, but it's go on Google Treasury request for redemption / reinvestment. That form is online. You can find it.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. She posted it a couple weeks ago.
Yep, that's where I got it from.
I think I might post it on my page after this. Mm-hmm. Very possibly. But if I don't, I never promised I would, so don't try that. I said maybe.
It's on Google. Redemption request for redemption / reinvestment. That's what that is. And it'll ask like the type of certificate, the coupon, the TAS, and all of that. It'll ask you that. And that's where you find it.
That's it.
And it's from the Treasury. It's not from some third-party website. Make sure it's from the Treasury. You don't put zeros for the dot. You can use an EIN, I think.
I did. I used my 980 IN.
Yeah. I had it under my name, but I converted it to a revocable trust. So, because people were sending me messages. I was like, nope, that's too much. That's too much information.
Yeah, you get all them FM. You get all them, dot compliant people trying to email you.
People from Path to Freedom, like they found my mailing address. I got a letter from somebody saying, "Hey,"
no.
I was like, "What? How did you get that?" And then I went online and I typed my name on Google, right? Because my name is my name, and you could see my dot number under my name and my home address, and I was like, nope. So I filed an MCS 150. I got rid of that. That was crazy.
Yeah, I have to do that. Y'all are wild. Why do y'all do that? And the thing is, I know for a fact that at least 3 of y'all in here are guilty. 300 of y'all in here are guilty of this. I know it.